Breaking news for Jungkook fans, because what Jungkook just shared sent a quiet shock through the entire fandom. This was not a loud announcement or a dramatic confession. It was something softer, deeper, and far more personal. From the very first moment, fans could sense that Jungkook was speaking from a place of honesty, not performance. His voice carried weight, his words felt carefully chosen, and his expressions showed someone who was no longer hiding behind humor or distance. As the live went on, it became clear that Jungkook wanted to talk about connection, not the kind people casually mention, but the kind that grows over time and changes you. He spoke about how certain people enter your life and slowly become part of your emotional world. They influence how you think, how you feel, and how you understand yourself. Even without constant name-dropping, everyone knew he was talking about Jimin. Jungkook explained that loving someone has never been about appearances or expectations for him. He said real love is about accepting a person fully without trying to reshape them. According to him, when you truly care about someone, you don't want them to change just to fit your idea of perfection. You want them to remain exactly who they are. Fans immediately connected this to the way Jungkook has always treated Jimin, with patience, admiration, and quiet respect. He talked about comfort in a way that felt deeply intimate. Jungkook said there's a rare kind of comfort that allows you to relax completely, to stop pretending, and simply exist as yourself. He admitted that he feels most at ease when he is with someone who understands him without needing explanations, someone who can read his emotions even when he stays silent. For fans who have watched years of interactions between Jungkook and Jimin, this description felt painfully familiar. As the conversation continued, Jungkook acknowledged that loving someone so deeply also means becoming vulnerable. He said opening your heart is never easy, especially when you know the world is watching. But he also said that vulnerability is not weakness. To him, it is proof that something matters enough to risk getting hurt. This moment resonated strongly with fans who have seen how protective Jungkook is when it comes to Jimin. Jungkook then spoke about time and shared experiences. He said strong relationships are built through countless small moments, not grand gestures, through shared meals, long talks, disagreements, laughter, and even silence. He described learning someone's habits, understanding their moods, and knowing when to give space and when to stay close. His words sounded like someone reflecting on a bond that has been tested and strengthened over many years. Fans couldn't help but think about the long history Jungkook and Jimin share, the trainee days, the early struggles, the growing fame, and the pressure that came with it. Jungkook's words seemed to carry the weight of all those shared memories, moments that fans have only seen pieces of, but that clearly shaped their relationship. At one point, Jungkook said something that stood out to many listeners. He talked about loving someone as they are in the present, not holding on to expectations about who they might become in the future. He said people naturally change, but love should not be conditional on that change. This felt especially meaningful to fans who know how open Jimin has been about his insecurities and personal struggles over the years. Jungkook also expressed pride, but not in a superficial way. He said he feels proud of someone not because of achievements, popularity, or talent, but because of their character, because of how kind they are, how deeply they care, and how much love they give to others. This description aligned perfectly with how many fans see Jimin, someone known for empathy and emotional warmth. He didn't ignore the reality of criticism either. Jungkook acknowledged that caring deeply about someone can invite misunderstanding and judgment. He said people will always talk and make assumptions, but there comes a point where protecting what matters to you becomes more important than satisfying outsiders. This statement felt especially powerful given the constant scrutiny BTS members live under. For many fans in the US, this part felt incredibly relatable. Jungkook wasn't speaking as a distant idol. He sounded like a young man who has learned through experience that love requires courage, that staying true to your feelings often means standing firm even when opinions are loud and divided. Jungkook continued by talking about acceptance in a very grounded way. He said loving someone means embracing both their bright moments and their darker ones, their smiles and their doubts, their smiles and their tears. He explained that when you genuinely love someone, you stop seeing their flaws as problems. Instead, you see them as parts of a whole person you cherish. He also mentioned strength, saying that being strong doesn't always mean standing alone. Sometimes strength comes from knowing someone is beside you, supporting you quietly. He clarified that this isn't about dependence, but about mutual support, about knowing someone believes in you, even when you struggle to believe in yourself. Fans immediately thought of how Jungkook often gravitates towards Jimin during stressful or emotional moments. Jungkook described love as something simple at its core, not always dramatic or loud. Sometimes love is just sitting next to someone, sharing silence, and feeling safe, feeling understood without speaking. This line struck a chord with longtime fans who have noticed how natural and effortless Jungkook and Jimin seem together, especially offstage. As he kept talking, it became increasingly clear that this was not scripted. Jungkook's tone softened, and his eyes reflected a sense of reflection and sincerity. It felt like he was revisiting memories that held emotional weight. Fans watching felt like they were witnessing a rare moment of honesty, one that wasn't meant to be dissected, but felt deeply. One of the most impactful moments came when Jungkook said that loving someone as they are helped him learn how to love himself. This statement changed the emotional atmosphere of the entire live. It suggested that this bond with Jimin wasn't just about affection or closeness, but about personal growth and healing, about becoming more comfortable in his own skin. He spoke about gratitude as well, about being thankful for someone who stays even when things are complicated, someone who doesn't walk away when emotions become heavy, someone who chooses to remain present again and again without needing recognition or validation. As Jungkook continued speaking, one thing became increasingly clear. Whatever words people choose to use, whatever labels fans or critics might apply, Jungkook's feelings for Jimin are deep and genuine. His love is rooted in acceptance, understanding, and respect. It is not about changing someone or fitting into expectations. It is about valuing a person exactly as they are. The live continued without a dramatic ending or a neatly wrapped statement. Jungkook kept talking calmly, honestly, as if he was finally allowing himself to say things he had held inside for a long time, and he wasn't ready to stop sharing yet. As Jungkook's words settled in, many fans realized that what they had just witnessed was more than a casual conversation. It felt like a quiet conclusion to a story that has been unfolding in front of everyone for years. Without making bold declarations or dramatic claims, Jungkook allowed his feelings to be understood through sincerity. He didn't try to convince anyone, he simply shared his truth, and that truth spoke loudly on its own. What stood out the most was how natural everything sounded. Jungkook didn't frame his feelings as something extraordinary or controversial. To him, loving Jimin as he is felt normal, necessary, almost obvious. He spoke like someone who has found emotional safety, someone who understands that love doesn't need to be proven with words every day because it already exists in actions, trust, and presence. For Jungkook fans, this moment felt validating. Many have followed their journey from the very beginning, watching them grow from young trainees into global artists. Through all those years, fans have seen the same patterns repeat themselves. Jungkook's eyes always searching for Jimin, his tone softening when he speaks about him, his energy changing when Jimin is near. This live didn't create something new, it simply put emotional clarity into what fans have long observed. Jungkook's openness also reminded fans that behind the fame, behind the stages and cameras, there are real people with real emotions. He didn't speak as a celebrity protecting an image. He spoke like someone who values honesty over perfection, someone who understands that love doesn't always need permission to exist. By choosing to speak this way, Jungkook showed courage, not the loud kind, but the quiet kind that comes from accepting your own feelings without apology. He showed that loving someone fully, without conditions, is not something to be ashamed of. It's something to be protected. As the live came to a close, fans were left with a sense of warmth rather than shock, a feeling of calm understanding rather than confusion. Jungkook didn't define anything, and yet everything felt clearer. His love for Jimin came across as steady, patient, and deeply rooted. Not fleeting, not uncertain, just real. And now, the conversation continues with you. If you felt something while listening to Jungkook's words, you're not alone. Share your thoughts in the comments and let us know how this moment made you feel as a Jungkook fan. Do you think this was Jungkook's most honest moment yet? What part of his words stayed with you the most? Don't forget to like this video if you believe in love that accepts, supports, and heals. Subscribe for more Jungkook news, deep discussions, and updates you don't want to miss. Stay with us because this story is still unfolding and every moment matters.